I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I kick my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go for king and nine, I'm on a pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art is an art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Wednesday night. We're back again with an amazing episode of Drone Brews. Tonight we have a star-studded lineup. We have a awesome show planned for you. We're going to be flying a drone live, and I promise you, all of my beers are firmly sealed as I'm not going to drink until after the drone lands. So the drinking will commence when the drone lands. I have had zero alcohol as of right now. I just wanted to be clear about that. My lawyers have requested that I've said that. And, of course, it would be unfair to Pilot Institute if I was drinking prior to the stream while piloting a drone. It's a whole legal contract. Anyways, I digress. Anyways, Eddie is not with me this evening, so I don't have Eddie with me tonight, but I do have my esteemed colleague. Some call him the master of the sky. I just call him Asian Bobby.
What's going on?
What's going
just
on?
Bobby.
Just Bobby Wang. Just Bobby or Asian Bobby. I mean, you choose. Asian Bobby, white Bobby. I have two Bobbies in my life, so I have to call you by, the proper, pronouns.
Only two?
Etc.
No more Bobbies.
Only two. I only have two Bobbies in my life. Bobby, white Bobby and Asian Bobby. I'll probably, don't cancel me like Kanye. All right. So we've got an awesome show tonight. So we've got you on, and then we also have Dibby from Paladin here. We're going to be talking about their product, but you and Paladin has recently have a partnership. You want to talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But so for everybody who doesn't know who you are and what you do, give them a rundown in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So SkyBrowse really simplifies 3D modeling for all drone pilots. Basically, all you have to do is fly above something and press one button, and the drone will fly itself. Mm-hmm. It'll record video through our patented videogrammetry for about 2 minutes. And when you upload that video, you get a 3D model back in about 2 minutes. So 5 minutes later, you get a 3D model after pressing start. So it's really quick, really cool. Easy. And also, it's really free as of this week.
Yeah, so now there's a free tier to where anybody can do this. And what drones does this work with, Bobby?
Like every single one of them. So
like every single type
if
of drone.
they're a DJI or Autel drone. So it works with just about all DJI drones, just about all Autel drones.
Does it work with Skydio, Bobby?
I don't think so. Maybe they should ask us about an integration.
Maybe they should. I think they're too busy trying to sell their own integrations while shilling the entire market. I digress. In like 10 minutes, I'm going to get a knock on the door. It's going to be like some thugs from Skydio. They have lobbyists here in the state of Florida right now.
Lobbyists.
Yeah, I'm going to get them. They're going to come after me. I shouldn't have glass windows here. Anyways,
Oh, I
they
see
watch
something
the
in the
show. I'm
chat.
sorry. I'm sorry. What do you see in the chat? Do you see Skydio in the chat?
I see
I'm
Scadio
sorry.
lobbyists.
We also have tonight, we have another special guest, somebody near and dear to our heart, Jeff Clemente.
So I'm a different kind of special. We'll just throw that out there.
Oh, we know you're a different type. We know you're a different type of special.
So yeah,
Jeff, tell us what you do for Skybrows.
So about 3 years ago, when I first met Bobby, I told him my whole life's ambition was to be his lackey. And about a year ago, he actually offered me a position at Skybrows. So I'm officially the VP of Business Development.
Okay.
But I like to hang out and try and make Bobby look good, and the software
You do that.
does its own
You
thing,
do that
so.
very easily. I've been to enough of events with Jeff, and he does that very well. It's a close race sometimes, though. It's a close race. I don't know who's worse sometimes, you or I. But we'll see. We'll see what happens after we flush draw.
I think we try to keep up with each other, which is the problem.
We do. You're my spirit animal. Let's go ahead and bring Divvy from Paladin in.
Oh,
Divvy?
shit, I'm live. Hey guys.
You are live. You are live. So Divvy, talk me through this. So we're going to be flying a drone live here. I'm watching in the right-hand feed. People probably can't see this right now. But let me see if I can share this screen. I'm going to share a Chrome tab here for Watchtower. And right now, what we're looking at is a drone that is on standby right now that we are going to fly live right here.
Yeah. Good disclaimer. I think our lawyers would agree about the no drinking, because
we're not drinking until I land this drone. So we're not going to drink until the drone lands. So somewhere in Texas right now, this drone is sitting here at standby, and it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, Divvy, is this at a police station?
Yeah, this is actually at one of our departments that we work with, and they've been kind enough to let us just do this quick demo. And they did ask, to make sure we weren't drinking, and that's all they needed. So here we are. This is actually in Houston. I'm also in Houston, and now you're flying this. Should be fun.
Yeah, this should be fun. So go ahead, for anybody who doesn't know who Paladin is or what they do or what the premise behind your company is. Give us the rundown of what you do, because I know a lot of people are looking at this like, wait a second, how are you going to fly this drone remotely? So go ahead and give me a breakdown.
Yeah. My name's Divvy. I'm the CEO and founder of Paladin. And at Paladin, we deploy autonomous drones to 911 calls. What that means is if anybody calls for help, if there's a fire alarm, if there's a fire, car crash, God forbid, an active shooter, we want to be able to send a drone there first. And we want to be able to do this as easily as possible, because things get chaotic. Things get super chaotic. So what you have in front of you and what everyone's seeing is our interface to actually control this drone. And the way we make this happen is all of our drones actually use LTE. So we're not using regular radio-based communications. With LTE, we can fly this thing really, really far away. And this is perfect for like our firefighters and police officers we work with, because we can send this thing about 3 miles away in a super crowded urban area after we get the waivers without screwing anything up.
Okay.
Wow, so LTE. That sounds really exciting. So how does that differentiate yourselves from all the other companies doing DFR?
That's a great question, Bobby. I thank you for asking. The biggest thing is, if for everyone who's watching, if y'all have flown drones, range anxiety is a thing. If you start sending it super far away, or even like if you're in a super crowded area, urban environment, you're going to lose connection at some point or another. And especially if you're trying to use this for public safety, the last thing you want to do is send a drone out somewhere and then you no longer have a video feed. So by using LTE, we're no longer limited by line of sight between the controller and the drone. And this way, our LTE sends stuff directly to our server, and now you can control it. And that's what you see right here.
Okay. So, all right. So we're going to fly this thing. This is sitting at a police station. So let's go through this. I'm looking at the screen here. So this is one of 14 drones that you guys have stationed across the country that is at police stations and things of that nature?
Something, I don't know the exact number is a little bit more than that, but yeah, this is one of the drones in our fleet. This is actually, you are flying an M300. And
Oh,
this,
there's a cop. There's a cop
There's-
right there. He's
there's a cop
holy
right-
shit.
not scripted. This is you're going to be
Okay.
flying 300.
They are real.
So just so we're clear, there is somebody on site that can take over in case if something goes sideways, they can take over control. So while I'm the pilot in command, there is also somebody that's there acting as visual observer, essentially.
Well, technically, you're the teleoperator, the pilot in command.
I'm the teleoperator.
You're the
Okay.
teleoperator.
I want to be the Maverick.
You're the Maverick.
Okay.
You just
All
tell,
right.
you tell the drone where to go. So this is the M300. It's flying the H20T camera with the thermal, and we'll be able to play around with that. The biggest thing
Camera
is
looks
this
good so far.
M300. This M300 is equipped with our LTE. Specifically,
Okay.
it's equipped with something new we released about 20 days ago called the EXT. It's just a box you can put on top of your M300 and your M30, and now you have full LTE, you have full autonomy, and then, well, you'll see in a minute.
All right. So how do I get this thing airborne?
All right, it's really hard. It's like a 20-step process.
Okay.
It starts with, you see in the top right hand corner it says start stop RTH, and then
Okay.
right below that to the right there's like two icons. One looks like a target and the other looks like a map icon.
Yeah, I see that.
Right, so I'm gonna have you click that map icon until it turns orange, and then we'll click the target one until it yeah, there you go, until it's black. And then
Okay, so I clicked the map.
perfect. Yeah, and now what you've done is you've essentially now you've armed.
Is that set to home? Okay.
Now just click. We don't want to go too far for this. So if you see where the drone is on the map, just like click somewhere around there. Wherever you click on the map is where the drone is going to go.
Okay. Well, hang on a second. So, all right. So I'm just gonna go over here.
All right.
Is that far or is that not?
That's super close. That's super close. Why don't you? I mean that works. If that's
Well,
what you want.
there's a hospital here, so I don't want to go there.
Great use
What
of that
about
LTE.
what about here? We'll go over here.
That's great. That's great.
That seems safe. Okay, so now I've told it that's where I want it to go. So hit start.
Just hit start, man.
All right, here we go.
You know, it would be really funny if it didn't work, and then I'd have to sit here and just like
Memorial Villages. We're literally at a police station. Holy crap, that street's pretty close. How does it know? Whoa, what's that right there? It's gonna clear. It's gonna clear all
Yep.
that.
It's gonna clear all
Holy
that.
shit,
Oh, that's Houston. Wow, it looks beautiful.
dude, that looks great.
That is beautiful.
Looks pretty
So
hot
it's
and
just
humid.
gonna. Yeah, I
So
bet.
what's going to happen is, we're going to climb to about 200 feet, and
Okay.
once it's at 200 feet, it's going to make a beeline for exactly where you told the drone to go, and that's what it's doing.
So holy shit,
Flying a
that's
drone.
just going.
We're flying
That's
a
it.
drone. That's it.
Houston, Texas, baby. Wow. Okay, so now this has options, right? We have thermal cameras that we can go ahead and toggle over to.
Yeah, go for it. Click the click
So I
that
just
thing
click.
once.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. So what the drone's doing right now actually is this is from our PD and fire department friends. The first thing the drone does when it gets on scene is it starts doing a 360. And Bobby,
can
Bobby,
tilt
why
this
is
gimbal
360
down.
so important for 3D reconstruction? We'll get into that, but it does a 360. You can change the camera. If you click that one more time, it'll take you to the zoom.
Okay, so that's the zoom camera, and if I click it again, it's going to take it out of the zoom, right?
Yeah, if you click it again, it'll take you back to wide.
Okay, so that's the wide angle. So how do I bring the gimbal down? Is it this
Well,
right?
let's control the drone, right? So why don't you click? Why don't you see those arrows? Just click the one at the
Yeah.
very bottom.
The very bottom, or
Very bottom. It's got like
Well, you
the
got
one with
three
the
arrows.
line. Yeah, the one with the
The
line in it. Yeah, that's the one. Just click it once.
oh, okay, there we go.
Oh,
Hey, Divvy, someone just asked if you could power loop it. I think that needs to be in version 2.0.
yeah,
Version
yeah.
2.0 with the power
2.0,
loop.
2.0, maybe 2.1. We'll keep it out. We'll keep it out. We'll let you,
So-
Adrian. I'll let you know as soon as power loop's on.
So now it's going through right now. It's doing it's obviously it's recording, it's filming all this information. So if you guys are integrating with SkyBrowse,
This is not currently recorded, but it can.
okay, it's not but it can be.
It can be. Yeah, there's actually two buttons on the top right-hand corner, one for recording on the cloud and one for recording on the drone itself. And then someone's asking if we can stop the yaw. Well, let's do this. It is getting a little bit dizzy.
I am busy.
Yeah, right. Why don't you hit stop real quick?
A little divvy? What?
A little divvy.
So all right, it's
So-
stopped. Go for it.
So now I can just control the gimbal by using these arrows. Okay, so these arrows here are going to control the gimbal up and down.
There's several different ways to control the system now. So you can keep clicking the arrows. The ones that are filled in will move at about 5 degrees at a time. The small ones will move at 1. But what I would actually recommend is let's change the other cool thing about the system is anyone
There's somebody walking. Holy shit, there's somebody walking there.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the click the you see the there's a gamepad. There's a gamepad icon again.
Yeah, I see that right
There
here.
you go. Okay, so now that you've clicked this is kind of like the other ways to control the drone. So what we just did was we dropped the marker, we clicked start, it just went where it needed to, hands free.
Okay.
Now let's say you get on scene, you need a little bit more control, need to do a couple cooler things. Now that thing is on, if you happen to have like a gamepad or a PS5 or something, you can plug it in directly to your laptop and fly it like you were flying it regular. Or what you can do now is you can use your keyboard and mouse to manipulate the drone. So if you hold W, it should go forward. If you hold D, it'll go to the right. And if you want to yaw it left and right, that's Q and E. And then the other thing is if you click and drag on the screen, you should be able to move the camera around with just your mouse.
Oh shit, there's a car. There's somebody here possibly. This is great. This is great. What are we over? Was this Westboro Baptist Church here? Doing a little recon?
Just a little bit of recon.
Just a little recon. I mean, this is fantastic. Look at this. Look at this.
So in theory, Ken, could you do a real estate shoot without even being there on scene?
I mean, if the camera was worthy enough, possibly, yeah. I mean, there's definitely some merit to this for sure. I mean, it's crazy to think though, this drone is in another state. I'm sitting here from my office and I'm just like perched up flying around and looking at thermals, which mind you, I think the thermal image looks really good from a live stream perspective. It's crisp for thermals.
This is some of the best thermals you can get on a drone today. It's at consumer, at least. It's really, really good.
I mean, this is outstanding. Is this a church or a house that I'm over here?
Honestly,
I feel like this could be a house. I'm not even 100% sure, but that's a big ass house.
You're looking. So here, yaw to the left, real quick. Just keep yawing to the left. Oh, that's there you go. Use the Q. You hold Q. There we go.
All right.
Keep going. North. One more time. A little bit more. All right. No, a little bit more.
That's a house.
That's a house for sure. Keep moving.
That's a mansion, dude. Who lives there?
We don't.
Actually,
know.
Divvy's house.
Yeah, that's
Divvy, that your house?
That's me. That's where we do all of our fun stuff. But if you keep moving, there's the church. Keep moving to the left a bit more.
Okay, so now we're back over the church. So just in between all these churches is all the donors that clearly, I mean, God, I mean, those houses. Did you see the pool on that one house? That was an Olympic-sized swimming pool. All right, so this is actually so if I'm going to move forward, is it S or D that's going to move me forward?
Neither. If you want to go forward, press well, okay, here, let's reorient ourselves. Click the on the arrow keys, just click the center button. So it'll move the camera. There we go. And then now you can move on again. And now you're looking forward. So if you want to go forward, just press W.
W.
Yeah. Hold W.
Okay.
Woo! We're flying,
there
baby. We go. Here, as you're moving, go a little bit to the right with the E key. We're gonna head back to the PD.
Okay.
There you go.
Where's the PD at?
Right ahead of you. Move the camera down. And you can just click and drag whatever you got to do here.
Well, here's another mansion right here. So let's just keep going towards that.
So, Divvy, I don't think you talked about that. So you said click and drag. What are you clicking and dragging?
On the screen itself here. So
that'll actually move the camera, correct?
Yeah, it'll just move the camera. So other thing is I'm also looking at the same feed. The way we built our system is for multiple operators. So Ken, I'm gonna fly this drone right now.
Okay. You fly the drone now.
I fly the drone just for a second. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to the PD. You see the camera moving down. That's just me clicking and dragging.
And now that's the PD, or is that a mansion again?
We can never be too sure. So why don't we find out? This
God
is
almighty, look at this. This is insane. I
Was
can
that a
see how this
cigar
could be.
lounge outside?
I could see how this could be useful. Like, you have a situation, you get this up in the air, the situation's close enough by, it's within 3 miles, and bam, you have a drone on site. I mean,
that's exactly what we built it for. All right, that's
so
exactly
this is PD here, right here, right?
this right here is PD.
Who's that in the yard? Is that a sheriff in the yard, or a cop in the yard?
That
There's
is
another person.
Vermont.
Look at
That's
all
our
these
PIC.
people.
That's our PIC.
I don't know why can the thermal zoom as well?
The thermal can't, but we have, so that's actually a statue. That's my bad. So I'm on the zoom cam right now.
Okay, that's a
the
statue.
thing. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna zoom. Wrong key. So if you hold 2, it'll zoom you out. If you hold 1, ooh, there's LEDs. So I'm getting distracted by this.
This is amazing.
Squirrel. That's a statue. American flag. Disco balls.
What is going on?
Look at the clarity. The
wild.
clarity is amazing. Now, this is the H20. This is not the H20N, is it?
This is the H20T. So it's got the
Okay,
thermal
it's the
camera.
H20T. So this has the better thermal. So this is the H23. Because I was going to say the H20N has that other camera, the Starlight sensor. That's even. I mean, that thing's just bonkers as well.
Yeah. We haven't played with it yet, but we like the thermal on this is phenomenal. So if you so you can take control again, Ken. This is just the PD over here.
Okay.
If you want to move the camera, so what I was saying earlier is you can now just click and drag. So when I moved it to the
Okay.
left right there, I just literally clicked and dragged to the other thing. Ooh, maybe we can show you something cool. This is
Yeah,
top
show me something cool here, because this is pretty awesome. I'm
flying
impressed.
drones from another state. Is that not cool enough?
Yeah, but you get to a point. Holy shit! Look at that.
Yeah, you gonna see the skyline?
Yeah. Let's zoom in on that building.
Building?
Let's see the capability of the zoom. Yeah, keep going.
Keep going.
Look at that, man. God, man, this
Whoa.
this
So
zoom sensor is crazy.
We've got the yaw set to like just 0, so it can't go like any bit higher. But this is just there. So actually, if you want to test the zoom, what I'd recommend is we look down. So
Okay.
Again, me clicking and dragging. Got to click and drag more.
See, I can't. That LED ball. There it is.
So I got to ask you, this police department, how often are they deploying this, and how often are they utilizing the watchtower?
A couple of times a day at least, and this is anywhere from.
So whoa, what is this right here? Is this a pod for this?
This might be something secret.
That looks like a pod. Did that open automatically?
I hope not. I don't know who'd be controlling that.
I'm waiting for Grogu to get out of that.
Yeah, that looks like a pod, man.
It does.
We use this drone at this department anywhere from like 2 to 10 times a day, and that just depends on when officers are available. Because like you're doing right now, Ken, the way to control this is anyone who has a login at least can just control it. So the officers are on their laptops, just making it work. So if they're available that day, that shift, they'll be flying it.
So now, is there an officer down here?
There, one of Ahmad, who's our flight ops lead, is our PIC right now. So he's making sure we're not going to do anything too dumb.
He's obviously severely underestimated us.
Ahmad is the only adult, I think, in our company as of today. Jeff, you kind of passed for Skybrows, but we keep going from there.
No, I like this. So the idea behind this is 911 call comes in, there's an accident, or there's a situation. This drone is then deployed to that location, and the idea is you want to get more departments to utilize this service, so that way it cuts the amount of travel that the drone has to pursue to get on site, get on scene. How long does the drone actually need to be in the air on scene to do what they need? How long does drone actually need to be on scene at, let's say, an accident or maybe a standoff situation?
Right. It honestly just depends on what happens during that emergency. Now, if it's a large car accident and you need to be able to look at everything that's going on, provide situational overview, you could be there for an hour or 2 or longer. If it's something what this is mainly used for, actually, just from volume, is this is going out to like fire alarms, burglar alarms. And once we're on scene, we really don't need to stay on for more than 5 minutes. That's about it. And then that way we're able to see like, hey, is something actually happening here, something not happening here, and then send the drone back as soon as it's done. So
I got you. Let's see.
Oh, we've got Ahmad on the
I-
chat. Hey, Ahmad, say hi. I wonder if we can zoom in on Ahmad.
Oh, Ahmad says he's there.
He is
At
there.
200 feet, you can hear it, especially when it moves. I would say that the 300's a fairly loud drone, so I'm sure people know, even at 200 feet, they know it's there.
Yeah, this is not meant to be a covert thing. Like everybody in the city knows the drone is around. Like this is really every single time there's an emergency, get there first, see what's going on. Hopefully, inform the officers or firefighters who are on their way what's going on.
So how has the reception been from the communities where these drones have been deployed remotely? How are people, I guess, receiving this, knowing that there's this drone that's being deployed on demand and potentially, operate it, not from, a ground pilot essentially? How do they take that, having these things like, operating at all times of the day like that?
Yeah, it's been, honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive because we're very, very strict about how these drones are used. Like we make sure that on 911 calls, this is only going to emergencies. So like someone has to call for help. This is not being used to, do patrolling or anything like that. And at least with the cities that we're working with, they now have essentially an officer on scene or a firefighter or some eyes on scene in 90 seconds or less compared to, average 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10, 15-minute response times, just depending on how busy a department is, how busy traffic is. So the response has been great. And sometimes, we take all of our security and privacy very seriously. And every single time, if the drone is being deployed, everything is recorded, everything's submitted to the FAA. You're able to access the video as needed by talking to the FD or PD. And it has been really, really good to just get eyes on scene immediately. And then even the officers who are using this, like we're just, in terms of 911 calls, some of the cities we're seeing that this drone, while it's being used to respond, can clear like 20 to 30% of emergencies every single day without needing to send an officer there, because it can go to the car alarm or it can go here or there and just confirm if something's happening or not. If it's not, then you can clear it. And if something is happening, then you know what to expect instead of.
I gotcha. So
yeah, and that's going to be really, really good for civilians in that city as well, because it frees up officer resources. So officers can definitely go to a lot more other call outs aside from or calls for service. Because
so Divvy, I know this is a question that a lot of people are probably thinking to themselves, like, all right, so wait a second, we're flying this remotely, this thing's being launched and sort of autonomously going to its locations. Talk to me a little bit about the waiver process, how you guys went about being able to make this to where it's compliant with the FAA, so everything's legal. Talk to me a little bit about that process, because I think that's something like a lot of people are like, wait a second, how are they able to do this legally? So talk to me about that aspect of things.
Great question. The ability to do this today has been 4 years in the making. So in 2018, when I first started the company, drones were being used by PDs, PDs and FDs, that they were being used by public safety. But you really couldn't fly very far. You can't get waivers. BVLOS is a big buzzword, but really, if you can't see the drone legally, you can't send it far away. And beyond that, you can't fly over people, all these things. So from day one, we've just been working with the FAA, being like, hey, we want to try this. And the process has been like, we'll essentially create a 20-page document of like, hey, this is what we want to do, and here are all the reasons that it will be safe, and here are all the things that could go wrong, and here are how we mitigate those things. And that started in 2018, and the FAA would tell us, okay, this doesn't work, change it. 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 Eventually, they're like, oh, this might work. And today, what's that turned into are just several cities being able to use the system, where now every single time we go to a city, we're able to get these waivers for these departments because we have a record of safety. We have several ways of making sure the drone doesn't fall out of the sky, making sure especially that we use LTE. If we're flying beyond visual line of sight, you won't lose control. You can send this thing 3 miles away. You can send this thing theoretically 20 miles away. Not that
so you guys are you're working with essentially you guys are working with the FAA, getting everything cleared prior to doing it. You're not just like doing something and saying, okay, I'd rather ask for forgiveness later.
Oh God,
so
no.
you're actively working with the FAA so they understand.
And so on.
So then so everywhere where these are positioned, you're checking the airspace, making sure that waivers are set. Like, all right, what if one of these police stations or where you wanted to put one of these was next to, let's say, a class, we'll say a class C, or even, a smaller airport that maybe don't have a tower? Like, what do you do in those instances?
Great question. We just make our application to the FAA include those conditions where we will know that there either is a tower here or there isn't a tower here. And this has actually allowed us to, believe it or not, we're flying right now in class, like not right now, but in some of our cities, they're flying in class Bravo. Next to probably the busiest, if not the second busiest airport in the country.
Does it request an authorization every time it takes off, or do you have something built in?
Not the way we do it. Not the way we do it. Because the way we do it, we get a waiver for the department specifically for the purpose.
Okay, so it's a broad waiver.
Yeah, but that being said, every single time the drone is in the air, if there's air traffic control nearby, they know for a fact that we're flying. We're actually even able to send this information of the drone back to the PD or back to whoever needs it. So if before remote ID was a thing, we're the hipsters.
so we got a couple of questions in the chat.
Yes.
One person asks, what is the contingency when you're using LTE and let's say it fails? That's a good question.
Great question. Happens. LTE is not constant. The way the signal goes in and out, and as the signal decreases, the video quality will start decreasing. And we do that so that we can always maintain at least telemetry with the drone. So we will sacrifice video if that means we have full control of it no matter what. But let's say LTE does go out. In that case, the drone will wait for 3 seconds, and we can tune this down to be 1, 2, whatever the department wants. It'll wait to see if it'll reestablish connection. If for whatever reason it can't reestablish connection, it will automatically start an RTH. And RTH will be going back the way it came, and that is all built into the system. It's built into, if you guys are, everyone's been flying drones, RTH is great, and it'll just come back. The last thing we want to do is not be safe with these operations and make a fire even worse.
Sure. So again, another question here. It's actually a pretty good one. Ray Kelly asks, do you have any success stories to share since you've been operating the drones like this remotely?
We have several. I'm racking my head.
What's a memorable success story with the watchtower system?
There's several that immediately come, but I don't know if our departments would like us to talk about those. But some of the ones
that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Some of the ones that I can talk about are and this is think of this system, just for context, I built this to be used in any city. This is not meant for really big cities only, or cities that have the highest numbers of emergencies. This is built for my town in Ohio that doesn't have a police department and just needs some extra help. And in those everyday cities, the success stories are the numbers that we're seeing, where we're able to just clear calls immediately. Some specific calls in mind are this was maybe a few months ago. Very specific example, actually, where we are right now. There was a call that came in saying hey, cars being stolen outside. I can hear, I can hear someone. So drone was dispatched immediately. We got on scene in about 30-ish seconds. And in 30 seconds, by then, the drone is loud, people can see, people can hear it. So whoever was the bad actor was not there by the time we arrived, but through the thermal camera, we could actually see exactly what cars were turned on. And that way, when we got there, the officers already had that entire area cleared because we were doing a 360. We knew exactly, at least from the thermal, where people could be or couldn't be. And then they were able to start circling around. And at the end of the day, car wasn't taken. Nobody was hurt. And that's the biggest success story that we can, when things are routine, when things don't go wrong, that's awesome. Some of the other things are just going to fires, getting there beforehand, being able to routinely route. Okay, this is exactly where the hot spots are, so aim the water here. Or what is this? 3 weeks ago, there was another incident where a call came in where, hey, there's a car in the middle of the roadway, in the middle of an intersection. So drone got first. Yeah, what's up?
Do we want to land this thing at 16%?
Oh, it'll RTH.
Oh, no, RTH. So
All right.
when does it?
Ignore the drone that's just hovering around.
I'm just like, I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm like, oh crap.
No, you're good. Well, that's why the system is built. I can be talking to you and not worry about the drone. And
You're
it'll
so
be
carefree, and we have a $30,000 drone in the freaking air here. I'm like, he's like, it'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I love it. That's freaking amazing. Cause okay, there it goes.
Told you.
That's
Wow,
that's
that's
crazy
crazy.
that it's just. I mean, I know like it's RTH, but it's dark out. It's got to land in that secret, whatever that secret pod is that you have
Hey,
there.
who said we took off from that pod? We just.
I don't know, man. It looks very suspect. I first thought it was part of like the Halloween props, and then I looked I thought it was like a Stranger Things set, and then I looked a little closer. I'm like, wait a second, because I had a lot of questions about that for you. You know, I had questions on that. So I still have questions, and I probably have more questions in regards to the implementation on this. So this is obviously at a police department. Now, is this something like this police department doesn't really have a UAS task force? Maybe they don't have the grants to purchase their own equipment. How does Paladin go in and say, okay, we're obviously in business to be in business, right? We're a company that's pursuing this avenue. How do you go in and like get a department to sign up with this?
The first thing is just to ask them, hey, like, what does your daily response look like? Like, walk us through your average response day to day 911 calls. Walk us through like the month. Like, how do you guys? How is your city structured? How is your force structured? Where are ways that we can help? And once we start figuring that out, then the next question is, okay, do you guys use drones? Yes or no? If you use drones, great. What have you been using them for? Like, it's just we're trying to understand as much about a city as possible because we don't know what to give them until we know them. But if let's say a city doesn't have a drone or they're looking to start a program, well, from us as a business, we're happy to provide that. We're working with some of our partners, and they can either get that drone directly from us or we're lease it out, whatever works for their budgets. The end goal, however, is not to buy like a super expensive system. The end goal is to just use drones. I recommend.
How is this? Is this a lease program that a department can lease these?
It depends. It depends on what a department wants. So we can lease them. You can outright purchase drones and kind of like the LTE module, as well as our entire control system has logging built in, some data collection, all that. So there's service fees related to that. It just depends on how you want to bundle it.
So I see a lot of good here and some things that I have my wheels spinning actually right now, because here in Florida we have this thing that's going to be very, very real come January called the Blue UAS list, right? It's a list of approved drones that law enforcement agencies are going to be able to use and purchase going forward. Now the list is very, very short.
Whoever thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, well, welcome to Florida.
Who pushed that through, Ken?
Man,
I don't know.
Crazy.
Lobbyists?
I don't know. A lot of lobbyists. But anyways, that's also how you starve out your competition. But one of the biggest issues that we've seen in the past, like when it comes to DJI or just any Chinese manufacturers, they're complaining about the fact they can't manage the data. So what I see here is with the Nighthawk and the Watchtower system that you have is a way to have a third party independently verify that information and manage that data. Because you're here in the States, you're managing that data. Essentially, it's an asset, essentially. So you're validating where that information is going. It's almost like you're scrubbing it, essentially. So I could see this as a way that the departments here can get around that Blue UAS list, essentially. So, hey, we need a matrice. We don't have the funding. We can't use our dollars, our grants to purchase funding for that. Is that something that could essentially work? Because now you're a third party at this point.
I hope so. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the Florida and all the people who are trying to make the Blue UAS list.
Like, are you on the radar here at all? Like, because I'm like, I would love to see the departments here, because we like here in my town, we have an amazing UAS team for the sheriff's department here. They truly are amazing. They have, they do amazing things throughout the state even, but I feel like in January, they're going to be severely crippled. It's going to be awful. And we rely heavily on drones, especially with the waterways we have here. We have it like, I mean, God, I can't even tell you so many times somebody gets stuck out on the water here, stuck in a river, or they get stuck out in these trails. I mean, and they're doing, now they're searching for them. And, the best drones that we have are obviously the DJI and Autel drones. Autel didn't even make the list. So it's not even like a DJI thing. It's just, they're losing a lot of tools that they've had for 2 years now. Now all of a sudden, hey, you can't use this. You got to use a Skydio. Have you ever seen a Skydio like do anything super productive when it comes to search and rescue? I haven't. I seen one smash a fucking pillar on a demonstration for law enforcement. I mean, I haven't seen them do anything amazing. I'm sure they could be amazing. I mean, it's great technology, but I could think of better ways to burn, $20,000. I'd rather throw it all down on like a blackjack table, one hand, than purchase an X2. I'm just saying.
I've seen that happen.
Yes, you have. Not necessarily, yeah, well, I digress.
So in all seriousness, I asked someone that worked with Skydio, I said, hey, is there a Skydio aircraft that's good enough to do commercial work, to do public safety stuff? And the response I was given was, well, it's great for following me on my one wheel.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like I have them, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, I need range, I need reliability, but most importantly, I need to be able to pilot the drone. And every time I've ever piloted a Skydio drone, I'm piloting it about 65% of the time when I'm using the controller. And that other, let's say 35%, it's making decisions for me. And when you're doing a crime scene or you're arriving to an accident, you need to make 100% of the decisions for the most part, right? Within reason. And it doesn't allow you to do that. So that to me is a big problem. But like I said, they're going to lose tools. I would love to see Paladin step in and be able to see that worked here. Cause I mean, we're not a big city. We're in a suburban not a rural area, but it's a small town.
Well,
but
Ken, I'll tell you what,
be amazing.
If you can put me in touch with your PD and FD, I'd love to see how we can help. Because at the end of the day,
I would absolutely love to see it.
Everything that we build, whether it's our EXT module that allows you, that's put on this M300, it's built in Houston. We literally have a 3D printer farm downstairs.
Okay.
It's not as pretty as Jeff's background. I will say we haven't prettied it up.
Jeff, what is in your 3D printer, Jeff?
What is my 3D printer good for? Hold on.
Hang on. By the way, guys, we've now landed.
We landed.
So tonight's theme, in case if anybody's wondering, tonight's theme is Mexican beer. I'm drinking Modelo. Jeff is having a margarita.
Whoa, look at that.
Divvy is drinking a Dos Equis. Bobby, what are you drinking?
The classic.
I love it. We're all drinking Mexican beer. I love how themed this is. And then Jeff just fucks it all up with a margarita.
Hey,
good job, Jeff.
So I'm a bourbon drinker, right? I don't really drink beer. I drink bourbon. And you said Mexican theme, so that's as close as it gets.
Well, hey, cheers to you guys. I appreciate you guys all being on the show tonight and talking about this. I think it was awesome to be able to, see this live, to understand the process behind it all, and to see, what other options are doing, available just across the country, especially when it comes to law enforcement, search and rescue, or first responders. I mean, it's a big thing. There's so many different dimensions to the drone industry, and that, and I like to see like hobbyists to see this, be like, it's not just one dimensional. It's not just, I'm filming something. It's not just cinematic. There's so many other more utilitarian use cases when it comes to drones. And I love to have people, even if they don't care about this, like they'll know about it. They'll talk about it. Somebody will hear about it eventually.
Well, Ken, I appreciate you.
Hopefully put it to good use.
On blast, man, because that really is the end goal, right? Like the more people know that drones can be used for all these different things, the better it is. Adrian, green tee shots. That's not the theme tonight, man. We're doing Mexico.
Oh,
I'll tell you what.
I should have made a picture of green tea.
Whew, those green tee shots. I'll tell you what, man. Those snuck up on me bigly.
No.
It's a great time. So we're talking about different use cases of drones and Paladin. Didn't we announce a partnership recently? What does that entail?
You did?
Something like that. Yeah. So what's the story here? Where basically one of our mutual friends, Bobby and I's, Lewis. Actually, you guys probably have seen around Drone Detective.
He's
It's one of
actually
the-
he's in chat right now.
He's in the chat right
Is he?
now.
Where is Lewis?
Yeah, I saw the drone detective.
He's lurking around.
He lurking.
He was actually answering questions there earlier.
He was very very
very helpful.
very helpful. Very helpful.
Quick shout out to Lewis because he's one of the few people who are actually doing good stuff. Like not somebody who's just talking about what drones can do, going out there making it happen. And met Lewis, and he
There he is.
we were talking about Paladin, and I was just telling him, like, hey man, like we want to talk about 3D mapping, because this is just me being selfish. What I would love to be able to do is get the drone to the emergency. And if it's a car crash or something, like if we could just make a 3D model of that thing while the drone is flying and somehow get that to the PD or fire department, even before they arrive, that would be a game changer. And we've looked at other solutions. And what I really wanted was video, because we worked with video. There's a lot of solutions out there that use photos and they work great for those specific purposes, but we work with video. And Lewis was like, oh yeah, dude, just talk to Bobby. And I was like, who's Bobby? Because this didn't know anything about Skybrowse. He's like, they do exactly that. They take the video and they make a 3D model of it, and it's awesome. And I was like,
whoa, video. That's crazy. So
no,
is that different than pictures? I mean, there's so many companies using pictures, right? So what's the difference?
Why?
Yeah, what is the difference between using video to photo? Is there like a significant difference? Because you think the files would be larger, you know?
Can I touch on the differences there real quick? So as far as DFR goes, if you were to use photos, your 3D model would be ready after the reporting was already done.
Okay.
With video, the 3D model can be made before the officer ever gets on scene.
So you already have everything you need before anybody even shows up.
Yeah. So the specific
that's awesome.
is like this just makes sense. Like we have an LTE drone that can go to an emergency, and when it gets there, the first thing we do is a 360. And Skybrowse uses 360s. So we can take that video, and because we use LTE, we actually don't need to wait for the drone to come back to, take out SD cards and all that. We can send it over LTE immediately. And
I don't think people understand how fast or how cool this Skybrowse the mapping actually is. So Jeff and I are walking down the Las Vegas Strip, and he's literally taking his phone. Actually, we're in casinos and stuff, and he's 3D mapping tables. Like he's gonna case the joint later. He's like, hey, look at this. I just mapped this blackjack table. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? He's got a 3D model of this blackjack table. So it's super, super powerful. It's a super powerful utility. And I would encourage everybody. So after the show's over, I'm gonna have links to where you can go check out Skybrowse, and you can also check out Paladin's information as well. But download Skybrowse and try it for yourself, because I've seen it head to head with a lot of the largest competitors, and it spanks anything that's out there right now. And I don't think, like, Drone DJ just put out an article with Skybrowse in there, and they did a 3D map of a stadium, and it's crazy because the scale and how fast or how long that took to do that 3D map is incredible for the amount of detail that you have. Bobby was on the show. Bobby, you were on the show 1 year ago from today. So 1 year ago, you were on the show from like today. I don't know if you realized that or not, but it's just coincidence that you're back on a year later.
Really?
But a lot,
that's crazy.
Yeah, literally a year later. So a lot's changed in a year's time. So talk to me a little bit about the changes that has happened to Skybrowse, because you have a lot of employees now. You're like, you're a big to-do nowadays, man.
No, not that big. No, so what? When I was on the show, we were 4 people, and we're in the middle of fundraising, and actually your podcast helped us raise more money. Some investors actually saw the podcast, and they reached out. Cold emailed me saying, hey, would you like some money? I was like, yes, absolutely. I'd love to have some
Everybody
money.
Everybody loves money.
He's great.
And since then, we've grown to 34 people. So we've almost 9x, 10x in terms of size. And on top of that, our tech has really, really improved. We've released Hyper, which makes the 3D models like insanely good. And also, the generation of these 3D models are 500 times quicker as well, 500% quicker. So you get really, really high quality models at a really quick speed. And we're now integrating with a lot of other drone companies, the cutting edge ones at least, like Paladin. So I'll share my screen and show y'all.
Yeah,
So
put it up
one of
there.
the
a year
models
ago-
that I made.
This is the coolest thing.
A year ago when he was on, it took forever to process a model, like a whole 20
Okay.
minutes.
All right.
A whole to Bobby, that's forever. He's like, oh, this took
Well,
so long, like a year. It's 20 minutes.
But you know what's crazy? I thought it was really fast a year ago when so we were at Commercial UAV last year, and he was there. Pix 4D was there, and he just, I mean, I don't even know how to put this any other way, so I apologize. He fucked Pix 4D up. These guys were over there like scratch.
All right.
He fucked them up pretty good at the night demo, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, you see fucking Spotted Eagle over there. He's over there like, you're not welcome back here, Wang. I mean, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I mean, it's
You're not
crazy.
wrong.
No, but that's literally what happened. That's literally what happened for like
Ooh,
pretty much. I mean,
What do you have there, Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby, where did you get this video, Bobby? What is this
Dang,
model?
it seems like
What?
this is from a Paladin flight.
Is it really?
What? Did it get?
What?
No way. No way.
What is this quality? Look at that. Are those power lines in thermal as well?
so
That-
it did it pick up the power lines?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
look at that. Fantastic.
So what can you do with this besides
a
have
thermal
this 3D
mapping.
model? Does it have measurements? What can you do off of this of significance other than, you know, we could attack people? Like I'm an officer. So I'll pretend I'm a fucking idiot. No, actually don't pretend. I'm a fucking idiot. What could you do with that at that point? You turn that over to somebody. What could they do with that?
So imagine you get a domestic violence call out, and an officer gets there on scene, and now the officer gets shot at by the suspect.
Okay.
He takes the woman and barricades himself inside of a garage. Well, now you can send a drone to the scene, get a 3D model of the scene for the SWAT team before they even get there. So they can pull it up on their phones and see all ingress, egress points, which is something that's kind of hard to do on Google Earth or Google Satellite View because that could be up to 2 years outdated. So now you have full situational awareness of the scene without having to use audio. And that's a really big aspect of public safety where you have to communicate where you are, what's going on, all through a radio channel. Now you get the visual aspect, eyes in the sky, on top of real-time situational awareness, where you're able to not only live stream, but immediately see what's around the area. And that just gives you so much better information in terms of public safety. And that'll just make people's lives a lot safer.
So Quadcopter's tax, he wants to know, how do you know that it's the woman is the victim? You're right. The man is the victim here. You're right. It depends on what state it is. If it's California, the man is probably the victim. So we're not politically correct here. Just once again, please don't cancel me. That seems to be happening a lot today.
Tactical decision making, though, being able to make decisions off of a 3D model is game changing. You know, something as simple as a fence. You can look at it on Google Maps and say, yeah, there's a fence there. Is it a 4-foot fence? Is it a 6-foot fence? Is it a 10-foot fence? Is someone going to go out the back door and jump that fence? But simple stuff, being able to see that kind of in real time, like before you ever get there.
I agree. I've been on site for a few SWAT calls, and the person had already fled the scene, but they didn't flee very far. Instead, they were like in a neighbor's property, hiding in the pool. They were underneath one of those above ground pools that they were literally in the pool underneath the pool cover. And we were able to find him with a thermal drone. So I could see how that could be beneficial to have that information already ready, tailored. And again, the fact that it's capable of processing it so quickly. If that information changes again, I'm sure you can spin out another model pretty much on the fly. What does it take processing time? What are we talking about?
Well, for live streaming, it's basically real time right now, because the limiting factor for Skybrow's 3D models isn't the processing speed, which takes about 2 minutes. It's not the drone flight, which takes 2 minutes. It's the fact that you have to land the drone, take out the SD card, plug it into your computer, go to skybrows.com, log in, and then upload that video, which might take some time. So that's the limiting factor right there. How do we make it more frictionless? Well, live stream it to our servers.
Nice.
High speed, low drag.
Nice.
And that's
And you guys
where
are and you said you were revamping, all the servers were being revamped apparently.
Oh yeah.
We kind
Super
of had
quick,
to.
super
So
quick
someone had the brilliant idea to say, let's give Skybrowse away for free. And daily we're getting, I don't know, 1,100 new users, 1,200 new users. So revamping
So
the server
whose idea was that to give this shit away for free? Like why?
Oh,
What? I mean,
Oh,
you've got
who's actually is it,
you've got a product that's fucking like there's nothing else like it right now. So you give it away for free, Bobby?
no, credit is where credit's due. It was all Jeff's idea. He was like, "We
Jeff,
should
you
really
gave it
do a
away for
freemium
free?
tier."
So let's be
He
honest.
gave it away for free.
Let's be honest. The hardest part about
He's a
3D
drug
mapping and
dealer.
modeling is what? It's the data collection and the processing, right? So from the business standpoint, I'm the VP of business development. How can we show people it is as easy as we say it is? You take those two factors out of everything. The flying is literally you push a button. The processing is literally you take an entire SD card and dump it on the server, and it does everything for you. So it highlights the simplicity. So now we're getting 1,000, 1,500 new users a day. Freemium isn't the only option. There's different tiers. So
Okay.
obviously law enforcement, they need reporting, they need measurements, they need
Right. They're going to need more.
stuff.
They need more.
Right. So we can show them, hey, this is the easiest thing you could possibly ever do with a drone. My 7-year-old daughter has made 3D models on her Chromebook. Okay. So you take all of that out of the equation. Now they know this is the output. This is what we're getting. And it simplifies the whole process it makes it a no-brainer, essentially. Everybody can make a 3D model.
like
and
it.
it's proof that everybody can make a 3D model. So now we have 1,000 new users that are all making 3D models and talking about Skybrowse. Well, hopefully, some law enforcement agency or military contract, anything, somebody that needs this software, hopefully they hear about it and, pick it up, try it out, and go with it.
Somebody asked actually a pretty interesting question. So somebody asked, so is companies like Starlink valuable to the company?
Oh, super.
Absolutely game changing.
Super.
So
yeah.
I can absolutely touch on that. So I also volunteer for a nonprofit, StormPoint. I'm the operations manager. It's 100% volunteer, and it's primarily disaster response, hurricanes, tornadoes, all that kind of stuff. When I first met Bobby, he literally gave me a free copy of Skybrowse because he didn't realize people were stupid enough to volunteer their time to go into the eye of a hurricane. So after we had talked about it for a little while, I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing some of those 3D models. He gave me Skybrowse for nothing. Said, hey, appreciate what you guys are doing. Go use it. So back then, when I first got Skybrowse, the hardest part was uploading stuff. We would literally have to drive to find cell service to upload stuff.
Yeah.
Well, since then, StormPoint has acquired several Starlinks and, minutes. We can upload stuff on Starlink, 300 megs a second, or, sometimes it's 30 megs a second. It varies, but we can upload from wherever we're at. And yeah, Starlink is game changing for sure.
It's going to be fun to see where it kind of expands, because even for us, everything we do is over the internet. It's LTE. The how far you can fly the drones using Paladin is just limited by cell connection. So
and something I asked you a question yesterday while we were talking.
Yeah.
I asked you if 5G was an option. You actually said that you find that LTE is a little bit more stable right now than the 5G.
It just depends. Like, we've tested 5G and 5G is the future, right? But I think the infrastructure sometimes, depending on the carrier that you're using, the specific, sometimes even the SIM card, we've had weird issues with 5G. Not saying that it's not going to get better, right? Like a year from today, who knows where it's going to be. But we want to push stuff out as it's ready. And LTE it works. It works great. Like, you guys saw the video, hopefully it looked all right. And once 5G is ready, we're ready with it.
All right. Well, I'm stoked, and I think we've got a lot of. I'm going to try to go through some of these questions because we got a lot of questions that we hadn't got to. But there's a lot of guys in the chat that are actually doing a really good job. I'm assuming they're your agents. They're out there doing a good job trying to answer some of these questions before they come through. But some of them,
there are hired lobbyists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that?
I was gonna say, you guys, you got Brian in the chat. I saw the drone agent or the drone detective was out there answering questions earlier. I saw Tommy Gunn out there answering questions. So a lot of people out there answer. So how can people get in contact with you? Should they have a department that is curious about this? They want to know, like, maybe about the pricing, how they get involved with you, how they become somebody that can take advantage of this. Because I'm sure tonight at one point there was 150, 160 people watching. I'm sure there are quite a few law enforcement agencies that watch the stream. I know for a fact there are. How do they get involved with talking to you so they can take the steps to potentially integrate this for themselves?
Yeah, it's if you have a department that's looking to just use drones, doesn't even have to be this autonomous stuff. If there's a way we can help, we'd love to talk with them. Send me an email, divvy@paladindrones.io. I answer pretty regularly.
And I'll have information. So after the stream's over, I'll populate all the information, all the pertinent contact information for Divvy, Jeff's personal email, cell phone, and mailing address, whatever.
Security and credit card, but his personal credit card, not the Skybrowse.
I'll give you the Skybrowse card number.
I can still smell the Skybrowse. I can still smell the Skybrowse card burning.
Everybody will be spending Skybucks.
Skybucks. That's what we call them.
Skybucks only go towards green tea shots.
We don't call it fun bucks. We call them, or fun coupons. We call them Skybucks. So, guys, I thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate everybody coming on and explaining it. I'm glad everything worked flawlessly too.
I'm telling you, it would have been so awkward if you click start and it just didn't work, and it would have been so weird. But look at that.
I mean, we've been to demonstrations where things just were a failure to launch, or they took 2-3 minutes for it to actually function. I mean, we've been to demonstrations like that. I mean, when you're doing something live, things like that will happen. Somebody's asking, do you all plan on going to CES?
CES? If you can,
I don't think so. I think that's more for consumers. I don't think they would be there. I mean,
I thought about walking the floor more or less because I'm a nerd, but
it could be fun. I've never been.
I'm going to be there. Hey, Vegas 3.0, guys. Come on.
No.
Come on.
That's too much Vegas.
Vegas 3.0. Come on, Bobby.
It was back to back. It was back
2 times.
I mean, we went back to back. I mean,
too much Vegas.
If Ken's there, I don't know if I'm allowed.
I'm going to be there. Vegas 3.0.
Too much boozing, too many cigars.
Oh, man. I got to tell you. Again. I got to tell you, dude, I almost didn't make the flight. I almost did not. I almost did not make the flight home. Divvy, you weren't there, but somehow I got to tell the story because it's so good. It's so good. I went home and I was telling my wife, I said, I love my friends. I said, I love my friends. I got convinced to go out the night before I was supposed to fly home. I was supposed to fly home Thursday. So Wednesday night we go out. And we were only supposed to go out till like 10:30, 11. I was going to go back to my hotel room. I had a flight. I had to be at the airport at 5:30. Somehow we end up on Fremont Street, and we were partying, dancing, drinking. I looked down at my watch. It's 3:30. 3:30. So now I have to Uber back from Fremont Street, make it back to my hotel, shower, change, pack the whole room up, make it to the airport to board a flight at 6. I don't even know how I made it. I got to the airport at 5:45. I got to the gate just as they were like boarding. I was like, it was nuts.
Ken,
I wouldn't change anything.
You didn't even text me. I thought you died.
Do you know how much
I
money
know.
you
I don't
saved
even know.
people though that night? You were the only person that noticed that we were about to get robbed.
Oh, I told you. I know. I told Russell. Nobody was paying attention. Nobody was paying. I don't know. I was so laser focused. I don't know why.
No clue.
But I was so like locked in, dude. I saw these guys. They were watching everybody at that performance, and the way they were picking people out. I told Russell, I said, dude, these guys are gonna rob somebody, dude. I said, I've seen this. That's how they do it. They'll follow you. They'll wait till you go to cross the street. They jump you. They rob you. But nobody got robbed. Nobody got robbed.
I was dancing.
Man, that was a good show though.
Yeah, that was fun. Not so much like the show. I think I go to these events to meet the people. Like
The people watching.
I wouldn't have met. Yeah, I wouldn't have met Divvy. I wouldn't have met Divvy like if I didn't go to Bobby's first event. Like when we went to the first event, that's how I met Divvy. He started talking to me about Paladin, and at the time I was pretty freaking wrecked. But I was like, yeah, it sounds. Yeah, I know. Go
Sounds
figure.
cool.
That's
Sounds
like,
cool.
it's like, yeah, sounds
Your
cool.
default state.
Yeah, it's my default. So, but now that I've seen it like in person and see how it works, I'm really impressed. I think yesterday was like, I almost wish I didn't see it yesterday because because it's like, when you figure out like Santa's not real or something, like it loses that luster or something. But I'm not saying it lost the luster tonight, but like the first time I saw it, I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is really good. So,
Well, thanks.
I was
I mean,
impressed.
just have us on next year, and then we'll be able to see what Divi comes up with.
Well,
in a
Bobby,
year.
you
We'll see.
9x your company in a year. Holy shit, dude, that's a high bar.
We'll see what he's going to do next year. What are you going to do next? What are you going to do for an encore?
For an encore. Oh
Yeah.
man. Free green tee shots for everybody.
All right.
Anyone that
There you
signs
go.
up to Skybrows.
Anybody
free
signs
green
up
t-shirt.
for
heard it here
Skybrows,
first. You heard
free
it
green
here.
t-shirt, free green t-shirt
Oh,
shots.
shit. I can
Shots.
barely handle the people coming in from freemium. Now we're offering free shots. I'm screwed.
That's it.
Oh,
All right,
man.
guys. Well,
I mean, when we threw the party, we had 40 shots for everybody.
It started
Just
with
walk
40.
on in, 40 shots.
That was the first round.
Just the beginning, yeah.
well,
That was a
we've been
beautiful
at.
video.
All right. I don't think that's any more questions. That's it for tonight's show. Thank you for everybody for joining. Again, links down below. We will see you next time. Adios.
Later.
Y'all just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion, reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in.
Am I the last one? Oh shit. See you guys.
I guess I should have told them how the show ends. Like the people that watch it regularly always know that there's always sort of like that bonus clip there at the end. Rookie mistake. They'll never make that mistake again, ever. Ladies, gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's show. This stream will be available to watch tomorrow because we did not screw this up tonight. We didn't have one single outburst. We didn't ruin anything tonight. I cannot believe it. I am absolutely astonished that we didn't ruin anything tonight. Oh, here's I got Jeff, dude. I got him. Did you see that?
Man.
I texted
Man.
you. I
No,
said
you caught me, man. I ran to the bathroom. I just came.
Oh,
back.
you got lucky though, because I got Jeff and then I got Divi shortly afterwards.
Oh,
Because
man.
they don't know.
No
They don't
way.
know. They didn't know.
What a bunch of chumps. They should have watched last year's episode. Come
I
on.
know.
They
Last
should've prepared for
year,
this.
you were standing there for like a deer in headlight for 30 seconds, but good show. Bobby, thanks for holding down the co-pilot chair, man. What's that
anytime. Happy
shirt
to,
say? What's
go
that
in
shirt? What's the
later.
shirt say? What's the drone?
Huh. I think it says Elizabeth UAS unit from New Jersey.
Oh, where'd you get that from, Lewis?
I think from the one and only
LeBaron Burton
drone
with the
detective.
$50 super chat. Thanks, LeBaron. If you guys want some of the best popcorn, you got to go check out LeBaron's store. He owns a store in Indiana called Popcorn World. He does like all flavored pop. It's pretty badass. It's pretty badass.
I think I've actually had some of that.
Have you had Popcorn World's popcorn? It's pretty good. Oh,
weird.
Fafa is back.
Crazy.
Fafa
with a K.
So you should have known better, Jeff, that was going to happen.
Come on, Jeff. You watched last year's episode. You knew what happened. I got pranked on last year's episode.
No, but so the thing is,
I just like joined in. I was like, what the fuck?
so
Where's
the feed
everybody?
left, and then the feed came back, and everybody else was gone, and I was the only one sitting here. It was like,
Yeah, that's how that works, Jeff. That's what we do.
That's how he gets you.
That's how we get you, man. Everybody thinks the show's over, and the show's not over.
the show
like-
has just begun.
I'm a big fan of Marvel, so I always like the end credits. So that's why I do that. It's the end credits deal. You got to follow along, Fafa.
Smart. I try. I try to keep up, but you know.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. You having another one, Bobby?
Where's yours?
I got it right here,
It's
buddy.
Mexican beer night.
Mexican
I'm only
beer
halfway
night.
done with mine.
Oh man, you got a pitcher. Cheers.
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 I gotta tell you, I love Modelo. Modelo just hits pretty good. Oh, Divvy's back.
I heard the party was continuing, so I had to.
Yeah,
What's up?
we're still having a few more. Somehow
What's your next beer?
the fucking viewer count went up though. I don't know how that happens. Like usually at this point the viewers are like down like 60, 50. They said fuck that, we're going up.
Let's be honest. They all know when we get together to party, the party's always pretty good, right?
God.
But
Oh
the
my
after
god.
party-
Only the best.
The after
Only
party
the
is
best.
where it's at.
We didn't do Skyworks though, man. Did you remember Adrian? We were at commercial UAV.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, we're gonna do Skyworks. And I'm like, Skyworks? What is he talking about?
So we did. There was actually a whole Facebook group that invited anybody that was invited to the Paladin Skybrow's launch party. There was
Yeah.
actually a Facebook group called Skyworks.
That was good. That was good. I'm glad we got to make it out to the event. We had to do that DJI dinner thing, which I mean, I could have not, but
I tried to get
digress.
you out of it.
I know. I went. I reluctantly went. I mean, it wasn't bad. I got a chance to speak to a lot of the engineers, which was cool. 'Cause, like, these are the people that we work with all the time.
Those
But-
engineers are great.
Yeah, those are the people that party hard. I know.
Oh yeah. Well, some of these guys haven't been out of China in forever. They've been
Yeah,
they've
it's
been
tough.
mainland China since the whole pandemic shit started. So they were like fucking going hard. The one guy was going to kick somebody's ass because they said DJI's like, no, you got to buy your own alcohol. He's like, I thought he was going to come unglued. I mean, he was going to fuck somebody up. I don't know who he was, but he's going to lose his shit.
See, people got to think ahead, keep a stash under their booth, or
You gotta know damn well that a corporate office is not going to pay for the booze unless you work for Sky Booze.
Skybrowse has foot the bill for several celebrations.
Thank God you guys are done. No more celebration. What you got there, Bob? You got some cigars? Oh, the humidor.
know.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
We got the humidor right
That
there.
is that is
For
really,
every single conference, we give one of these out.
that is
Just gotta
really
drop a
nice.
business
Man.
card and one lucky winner.
Yeah, it's
That
funny.
is
Someone
really-
from
They get a humidor.
it was Mike from DJI that actually won it at Airworks,
Really?
Yeah.
He won the humidor.
and he was extremely stoked about it. So we didn't
Oh,
even
yeah, he
realize
sent
it,
me a
but he's
text
like, so
message.
the last 3 conferences I've been to, you guys were here. He said, I've dropped a card in all of them. So it was his time.
It was his time, man. That's a nice humidor.
Look at that. Look at these.
Did you stock it with
good.
cigar? Did you give him a couple of cigars in there or no?
I'm pretty sure there were none left at that point.
Okay.
Because we did give it away at the end of the conference.
Yeah. I know I had a few cigars. That one night, man, that one cigar almost put me on my ass.
It was that Padron.
What
was-
night was that? That was Tuesday night or Monday night. I can't remember what night was like really. It was not a good night for me.
What the funny smelling cigar?
No, it was a really
Whatever.
good-
Oh, that was a different cigar. But Monday night was, I don't know, the night I was arguing with the waiter over the steak. What night was that, Jeff?
Oh
Let's
man,
be honest, that steak
That
was
was like
not any
first
good.
night.
Not very good. I think
Yeah,
that was
first
Monday
night,
night.
dude.
That was Monday night, right?
Yeah, that was the first night.
That was Monday night. I got into a fight with the waiter at Caesars.
I told you though
And
that
I-
Padron was going to kick your ass.
Yeah, I'm a lightweight, dude. I'm a cheap date. Like
I'm
if
like,
I
"Do
ever
you smoke
date it, like
cigars?" Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no.
I do.
Well, I
not
will
like
now.
not like daily. I don't smoke cigars daily. I have a limit, but I mean I've smoked cigars. I didn't think it was gonna fuck it. Like that thing I felt like Pinocchio.
Yeah, 1926 Padron. Those things are amazing.
Yeah, I mean I felt like I was back at that little like that. I was having flashbacks. It put me back.
Good night, Brian.
See you, Brian.
man. Adios, Brian.
Later. Good night.
So somebody says that's a nice humidor for their joints. Got a lot
You
of
could
good people.
Probably fit a lot of
good.
them in there.
Could fit a lot of
Oh,
joints in
yeah.
there. Yeah.
So many.
Good for you,
You'd
man.
Be legally arrested for that.
Well, no, it depends on what state, dude.
A drug dealer.
No, you can't be a drug dealer. Jeff's over here giving out free Skybrows. I mean, who's the drug dealer, Bobby?
It's
The
like
guy that
crack.
wants to
man.
load. The
Once
guy
you
that wants
start
to load
using
up
it,
his
you can't
humidor.
stop.
I mean, it's only one button press. It only takes 2 minutes, from what I heard, to make a 3D model. So Seems pretty good.
Carolina Ariel says a couple of drinks. Dobo's asking for a skin cigar.
Wow.
Skin flute, my friend. Skin flute.
Oh man.
Let's get it
Wow.
right. God, I like that guy. I like you. You're okay, Carolina. I'll give you a little cheers.
Oh,
What a nice
man.
guy. Marcel says he's in Canada. Everything's legal in Canada. Everything is legal in Canada.
Is it really?
I
Is it
I
Colorado but
think
bigger?
I don't know. I think they just don't. I don't know. Maybe they just have to smoke to deal with the taxes. I don't know.
Have you ever been to Canada?
No.
Ken, you're talking a lot of shit.
Oh, you just gotta say, "Ooh, sorry, eh?" And people just leave
No.
you alone.
I
It's
don't want to.
strange. You can
I've
say it
never
as a
I've never
joke, but
wanted to go
people
north.
leave you alone.
I'm warm blooded. I like the warmth. I don't do well in cold weather.
Come to Ohio. We have corn.
Is that
Oh,
is
No
that where you're at,
one-
Dibby?
No one wants to go to
Dibby,
Ohio.
you're in Houston or Ohio?
I'm in Houston. I grew up mainly in Ohio.
Okay.
Even
And
the people that live in Ohio don't want to be in Ohio.
Ohio's great, man. It's a great place to go. We got the best roller coasters in the world, and I will stand by that statement. And
Yeah, I don't know.
and OSU football, college football, nothing better than college football.
We got the
I
Vols.
mean, if you got to fly. Well, yeah, you do. You guys just threw a bunch of shit in the river. Good for you guys. They got fined for that too, man. Did you see that? They
Hey,
fined
do you hear what the coach said?
What the
We would
coach
do it
said.
again tomorrow.
Honestly, I don't blame him. I can't believe. So what happens? Like the security can't contain everybody rushing the field
No, they don't care. They know it's
after
gonna
the
happen.
game.
Yeah.
After the game, they don't care.
When they won that game, they didn't care. I mean, that's one of
Because
those
I've
things. Security is as big of a fan as all the college kids.
Because it's weird because like one guy runs on the field and everybody loses their shit. I wonder how they would contain like all those people. If you really think about it, if everybody coordinated like they're gonna barge the field, there's nothing you could do.
No, and they knew it was going to happen. They knew if we win, they're going to storm the field. So more or less at that point, it's hopefully we can keep people from getting hurt, as opposed to like stopping it. You're never going to stop it.
Yeah.
It's let them go. If we need to step in to keep people from getting hurt, that's one thing. But apparently riding on
what's a
broken
really good idea?
goalposts is no big deal.
You know what's a good idea? Taser drones to stop all the field stormers.
Taser
Taser
drones.
drones and put them in schools, put them in stadiums. And
I know a
fly
company
'em out
that's
and
going to do
just
that.
Zap them.
Could you imagine a taser drone,
idea.
man? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. I mean,
Well,
imagine one that whaps somebody and then can flip back over and get back up and whap somebody again. Throw an Axon taser in there.
It just has a
And
turtle mode.
name
You just
drops.
go,
Just
and it's back.
It turtle modes back over after it stuns somebody. Could you imagine? Like, I could not
It's got
imagine.
tasers on both sides, so like it zaps, flips over, and then zaps again.
Or you get one that
Wow.
like it'll
Multi-purpose.
shoot the tasers and then it just like as they're running with the tasers tasering them, they can it still sort of trails them. I don't know. I would like to make a taser
Just
drone.
continuously zap them.
So
It's like one of those dog leashes,
hey,
it just keeps on.
Ken, remind me to send you the video of Bobby getting tased.
Oh, Bobby, you got
Oh my
Bobby, you got when did you get tased, Bobby?
you got this too, Jeff.
Oh man, I got zapped.
I'm the
twice.
only one there
The
wasn't
second time
video
hurt.
of, though.
It was bad.
How did you get tased? How does that even come up?
We were in Ohio, actually.
Oh, it
Funny
was
enough.
Yeah,
Cleveland.
we were in Ohio.
Represent. See, there you go. LeBaron, it does have the best amusement parks. It does.
I would pay to see Bobby getting tased. Shit, I would pay to see that.
Jeez.
Teased.
Ooh.
Who's teasing?
Ooh. What kind of
What
is that?
I don't even know if you'd make a
Ooh.
sound though, because sometimes I feel like you're just be like, ow. Like I don't know. What sound did he make, Jeff? Jeff, you got video. Please tell me you got video of this.
Oh, I'm pulling it up right
Oh,
now.
he's looking for it.
I got
it. He's the one that recorded me getting zapped.
Oh, I got Tyler getting zapped.
Oh.
Yeah,
too.
shout out to Tyler. Who's
Ooh.
apparently in bed right now, but because he drank too much or something. You know what, we should honor Tyler and show him getting tased in front of everybody right now.
What's
we will.
Tyler's job with Paladin?
Tyler's our growth lead. He's the
So
guy
this
who's
is
Okay.
This is
He's-
probably
he's
the
our-
easiest way to share it.
He's the boots. He's the boots on the ground guy. Going out visiting.
He's been on a tour. He's a rock star, city to city to city.
It's
Jeff,
awesome.
please tell me you got this video.
Hold on. I do. Hold on 1 second. It's uploading. I'll be
Oh,
back in
this
1
is
second.
Oh man,
This is
poor
great.
dude.
this is great. I can't wait to
Poor
see it.
Tyler,
Did you know that
traveling around.
Jeff has one set of apparel? He's got these khaki pants he always wears, belt, and a polo shirt. That's it. That's Jeff apparel. I'm
Some
gonna.
say
I could be.
Skybrows, some don't.
And he'll have a shirt, a hat, a typical ball hat. I could be Jeff for Halloween.
What are you going to be dressed up as for Halloween? Are you going out?
Oh, here we go.
Who, me?
You?
I don't know. I was gonna be a lobbyist or something, like a Skydio lobbyist or something. I was trying to think of the scariest thing to be. All right, here it is. All right, here's Bobby. Hang on, Bobby getting tased.
Oh man,
Hey,
what the?
This is round
This
2.
thing is full screen. What is?
Oh, this
man,
is
this
great.
the one
Let's
that
see it.
hurt.
Let's see it.
So this is round 2. So to preempt this, the guy on the right actually has a glove on that has a taser built into it.
Okay.
So you literally just grab somebody with that glove, and well, he'll see the results.
All right, just tase him already.
Oh my God. Man, that shit hurt. And we were drinking the night before. Corey was a cool dude until he zapped me a bunch of times.
He was a cool dude until he
How bad did that hurt, Bobby? Did that hurt?
So the first time I was actually really nervous and also
Okay.
pretty hungover and pretty
Oh,
nauseous.
shit.
It's like, oh man, I'm gonna fucking puke if I get zapped. And he went light on me. He just zapped me and I ran away. So it was all good. But the second time, for some reason, I was like, you know what? Let's do both arms. And he actually got me good.
He had to balance it out.
He put it on me.
I'm uploading
That's-
the one from Tyler now.
Oh, that's awesome. So what show was that you guys were at?
FBI NAA. It's the FBI
National.
They have their own convention, huh?
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
Training convention, I think. Yeah, training convention.
Have you seen the CIA's convention?
No.
Not
Neither
yet.
have I. Neither have I.
Not yet.
I hear it's a big secret.
See what you did there.
Wow.
Oh, let's see. Okay. All right, here we go. Tyler. This is an ode to Tyler. Is Tyler watching?
Oh, it's Tyler. I don't know. Tyler.
No, he's gotta be
Hang on.
sleeping.
Let's see.
Tyler might
Here
be
we go.
sleeping.
Here's Tyler. All right, Tyler.
Shout out to
Tyler's a tall dude. I forgot how tall he is, man.
Tyler's a tall dude.
He's tall.
There we go.
He looks a
I
little
gotta get
nervous.
But he's not about this.
He's like, how long are you going to do it? Oh, he grabs him under the arm, too.
Yeah.
Ooh, the twist. Dang.
Took it like a
Oh,
champ.
that hurt. That hurt. That one hurt. Oh, that's funny. I don't know. I feel like we need to tase people at the next convention.
I think we need one of those gloves. They actually weren't that bad. It was like $1,500.
And I'll tell you what.
Really?
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever lets us. So here's the deal. Whoever lets us tase them at the next convention can use Skybrows for free. They can make one, a free 3D
It's
map.
already free. It's already free.
It's already free.
Quiet.
Shut up. Shut up. Stop
Oh, I
talking.
gotcha. How about they can
Quiet, Divvy.
How about they
We're
use
just gonna
Ken for
lure
free?
them in. We're gonna lure them in with a free 3D map and a possibility, depending on how long they let us tase them, a possibility of a cigar, and 2 free entries to the humidor. We'll give them 2 entries.
We'll throw in a free DFR program too. Free DFR program.
There
For
we
the
go.
first person that gets tased at the next conference?
If
I'm
they
in.
have one, yeah.
I'm about to get
They
tased.
have to be on video. They have to be.
Jeff, is that like a
You have to be okay with
because
getting that released.
I kind of know you, but if you're the first one to be tased, we'll make
I
it
could
happen.
see I could see Jeff being tased though. He'd be like a damn.
Jeff, did you get tased?
Yeah,
I
did
don't
get
remember.
tased.
Did you
I'm the
get
only one that
tased?
didn't get video though,
Oh,
because I was
Oh,
the one
man.
taking the video.
What is Jeff? What's
Yeah.
your background before Skybrows and everything? Law enforcement, right?
Fire service.
Fire.
15 years in the
Okay.
fire service. Yeah, putting out
Not-
fires.
not-
and that's what
not
I do now.
starting
is put out
fires.
So
No, you also start fires too.
no,
No,
Absolutely
no, of course not. Of course not.
absolutely not. But going back to the tasing thing, I'm telling you right now, if you advertised I was the one getting tased, you would have copious amounts of people there.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that want to see you tase.
You want 100,000 subscribers? Just put out there that I'm getting tased on the next show. And
I love how he uses words like copious to
Copious,
further embellish it.
Isn't that like a normal vocabulary word?
I mean, how many people work at Skyview? Copious people.
Copious people.
How much
Somebody
money
said
is
if you
Skyview
grab the guy's
copious
arm
amounts of
back
money.
when he does it, they'll shock. Does it work like that? If you grab his arm back, will it shock him or no?
No.
Why not? Yeah,
So
it's not going to
on
create
the glove. There's like 2 little nodes on the glove. So if he was to grab himself, then yeah. But both nodes have to touch. And there's a little button on the back of the glove that turns it on and off.
Gotcha.
And it has to touch skin as well.
Yes, it has
so
to be
if it
skin.
touches the t-shirt, it doesn't work.
Oh, he scared the crap out of me. He walked up behind me and put his hand on my shoulder. It was like, oh, shh. After getting tased with that thing, you don't want it to happen again unless you're Bobby.
That thing hurts.
It
really
does hurt.
hurts.
I'm starting to think Bobby's a masochist. He's like, oh, I'll go again.
Yeah, he's got some
Well, the
tendencies.
first time was easy.
He's got some tendencies, though. I'll tell you what. Freaking Bobby. Well, all right.
Hey,
I'll
make me no
really end
game.
it this time. It's 10:30 now. Everybody got their bonus content now. You got your bonus
What we were
content.
waiting for the part we were
Divvy, thank you so much for coming on. You're
Thanks
a good
for having me,
sport.
man.
Awesome guy. I'm super excited about what you all are doing, and I can't wait to see what you do next year. Hopefully, maybe 9x things.
That would be a good goal. We're at
Maybe.
10 right now, so that'd be 100. That might be.
And then Bobby is gonna, what are you gonna do, Bobby? You're gonna go Super
you gonna
Saiyan, Bobby? In no way that was
don't really
a reference to your nationality. I
hair's only
love
gonna get
fucking
longer.
with
Yeah, I
Bobby.
love that you
Bobby is one of my favorite people in this industry. One of my favorite people in this industry because he's such a nice
I
guy.
concur.
Thanks, man.
You're such a nice guy, Bobby.
Bobby
And Jeff,
Bobby taught me cigars. Bobby actually taught me
Bobby taught you cigars. Yeah, well, yeah. I learned a lot about bourbon from Jeff. I learned about what not to drink, what to drink, how to drink it. I also
And if you
learned that
stick with one, you don't have the
Yeah.
issues that you ran into when you ran into them.
yeah, well, that was
Yeah, and-
unfortunate. So
And to the chat, just come to our next party.
when's the
Come
next
talk to
party?
us
When's the
at the
next party,
conference.
Bobby? We got to be at what's the next? It's X.
Oh
not
man, I don't
Expo.
know. We do like
We've got
No,
Expo?
AVUSI,
We do
right?
AVUSI
AVUSI.
is yeah.
Where is it this year?
Colorado, I think.
Denver.
That's
Denver.
right, Denver. I gotta make sure. That's right. It is Denver because I remember
Yeah.
Vic told me he's like, oh, we're gonna
We've
we're
got
gonna
a
go
booth
big.
there. We're actually right next to Pilot Institute.
Oh, you
So
mentioned
we-
Pilot Institute, so we've got to, of course,
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Pilot
Look
Institute.
at that.
If
There
you
it
guys
is.
haven't already,
Right
be
there.
sure to sign up for Pilot Institute. It's more than just 107. It's future training for things you want to do with your drone after you get your license. PilotInstitute.com for all the fantastic things. And I'd be remiss to not mention it as it's part of my contractual agreement. PilotInstitute.com.
So let's be honest, those guys are miracle workers. We have software that you literally push a button.
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh, let's make a training video.
Who's the miracle worker?
Pilot Institute.
Oh, we said it again.
Oh, there it is.
PilotInstitute.com.
Drink.
So yeah, we may or may not have some training coming out through Pilot Institute.
There you go. Pilot Institute. There you go.
Take another drink.
Drink again.
It's every time you say it. I mean, it's going to keep happening there, Jeff. So I prefer you not say it. Anyways, no,
Institute actually did fly the drone. Drinking.
he did. He did.
Yeah.
He's it's crazy to think. Like I think back to where they were like a year ago, where I accidentally clicked on one of their ads and then they never went away. They never went away. They followed me around like those ghosts from Disney World, and then finally I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why am I seeing all these ads? It was the most insane thing. And then all of a sudden, and then I got to meet him, and I say this seriously. I say he's the most genuine person in the industry. Super, super nice, salty earth type of person. So I say that 100% seriously. I absolutely love Greg.
Hell,
So-
that's the only reason I'm here. I thought he was the one holding the.
Where did you say that to me? You said that to me somewhere. Oh, that's right. Yesterday. That's right.
I walked up to him like, "Hey, Greg, it's so good to meet you, Greg." Pilot
oh,
Institute.
oh, that's where I was. I was
Oh, you
leaving.
missed it.
I was at Airworks and I was walking out of the convention thing and I had the Pilot Institute shirt on there. He's like, I love your courses. I'm like, I'm not that fucking guy. It's this guy. I was like, fuck.
The best part about
Never
that is I
fails.
know Greg really well. I was actually hanging out with him at the studio a couple weeks before that.
Yeah, he said you 3D mapped their studio with the DJI Avata.
We did.
So that's pretty crazy. That's pretty
What?
yeah. He
Actually-
3D. He mapped
Is
the
that
studio.
a hint or a leak? What's going on over
So
here?
we actually didn't. I called Greg up. I'm like, hey, you have the Avata? I'm trying to convince Bobby to buy me one. And he said if I could prove that it's useful, that he'd buy me one. So I'm like, can you just fly like some figure eights or circles around the studio? I want to see if we can process it. And he's like, yeah, sure. So they flew a 3-minute video around the inside of Pilot Institute.
Yeah,
And we ran it through Bobby's genius software that he created. And sure enough, we have an interior 3D model of Pilot Institute. And sure
freaking
enough,
nuts.
I've got an Avata sitting on the shelf over there that Bobby bought because we've proved it to be useful.
So do you have to buy every drone? Are you buying the drones that you're testing, or do you find beta testers to test this? Like if something new comes out to like verify that it's going to function and work, this, or you just go out and find a beta tester there, Bobo?
Yeah, we have a pretty big testing list. So the story behind this is our mobile team, they're always looking for testers before they do a release because there's so many like different things you can do in SkyBrowse and in terms of making 3D models and all that stuff. So whenever we do a release, we always want it to be tested out a lot, and we don't have that many people to test it out.
Sure.
So our mobile devs are always saying like, hey, we need more testers and whatnot. So one day I was just like, all right, I'm fed up with all these complaints. Let me just post on Facebook and post on LinkedIn. Hey, we're looking for testers, $30 an hour. Instead of having to drive to a construction site or wherever, or a house to do a real estate video shoot, you can do this in your backyard. Make a 3D model of your house or your backyard or whatever. Just press a button. You get paid $30 an hour. And 300 people signed up in like 2 days. So now we have a bunch of testers to help us out with testing. And we're still looking for more testers, of course. But now it's just so much easier for us to test out new software. And as we're growing, a lot of other drone manufacturers are giving us free drones. By us, I mean Jeff. It's all in his background over there. He's hiding it.
Hey, no, everything that's in my background is actually mine that I have purchased, with an exception of that Avata. But no, I do have the M30T here. DJI was super nice, sent us the M30T. DJI has given us an M300 to do some testing on. They've gone way above and beyond. And then shout out to John McBride. Altel has also gone way, way, way above and beyond. I've actually had John McBride's personal dragonfish for the last 6 months. So
That's a big feat. John's a good dude. He's
Oh,
another
man,
he's
he's
another one,
unreal.
just a super good dude, man.
He is unreal.
Super good dude.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
like
went to
John.
hang out
That's-
with him in Texas and came home with his dragonfish and decided I'm never giving it back. So there's that.
Did he? He's
It's
probably
okay.
got,
It's
he's
like-
probably
it's
got the
beyond
dragon.
joking.
He's got the dragonfish too by now, I'm sure.
Right. No, I mean, that aircraft is awesome. Like, who wouldn't want a free dragonfish? And he was gracious enough. Not that we're doing anything with the dragonfish, because I don't know.
No, it's
But
just for
if
playing.
we were to do something with the dragonfish, like you could map an entire state in one flight. So there's that.
Yeah. Well, there's that. But don't do that though. I mean, you could do
Also,
that.
Jeff has a Cessna parked in his backyard.
Not yet.
He literally has planes to test out.
I'm hoping to
So
get rid
how
of
do
them.
you-
his backyard's a runway.
Whoa. How would you get a Cessna, Jeff?
I definitely don't have it. Not that I'm not working on
I was
it.
gonna say that SkyBrowse buy you a Cessna too. Jesus Christ.
No, we don't pay for
Skybucks.
this stuff. People just give them to us.
Skybucks.
Skybucks, man. Skybucks.
Unlimited Skybucks.
No, honestly,
for
there's
green T-shots and Cessnas.
there are a ton of companies out there that are more than willing to, look, they've seen the product, they know what it's capable of. They're like, yeah, sure, you need something to test on, yeah, we'll send you that. Tons of good stuff out there. A lot of good companies that are willing to help out.
Wow, dude, I'm stoked to see everybody work so well together. One thing I will say is like everybody works super well together. Every single event I've ever been to, like It's a whole nother side. The commercial industry is just a whole nother side. I've always been just privy to the hobbyist side, but I'll tell you what, the more I get to know everybody from the commercial realm and start seeing all the different applications and areas where I can assert myself, it's just so much nicer in a lot of different ways. Everybody's just super, super helpful, wants to see everybody succeed and flourish no matter what it is. It's almost like there's like no competition because everybody realizes like there's a lot of room for growth. And I never felt like anybody's stepping on everybody's toes, unless if you're in mapping, then holy fuck, everybody maps something. It's crazy, but I love the industry, man. I gotta tell you, I've met some of the best people I've met this year. It's been at some of these shows. It's been absolutely awesome. So
Yeah, man. Really glad you're coming out to these shows as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it seems like in the past, a lot of people, especially during COVID, a lot of people just stayed in and did their own thing, post on social media and stuff.
We kept going. Like, that was what was hard. Was it last year? Commercial UAV was the whole thing. Everybody's walking around with a mask on, and I didn't know who the fuck anybody was. I'd have to like look at their name tag and be like, oh, you're so. This year was nice because you can actually see people's faces, and there was a lot of people that weren't there previously there. Even the DJI event was super nice. By the way, they could just do that every 2 years. They don't have to do it like every year.
That's only because you can't hang.
It has nothing to do with hanging. I'm like, I just feel like if you're gonna do an event like that, save something for the event, like the keynote speaker, like wow us, show us, bring the dazzle. You have all these people paying a very, not a lofty entrance way, but they're paying a good amount. Bring something like they could have saved the thermal, like the Enterprise series, like the Mavics. Like we knew they were coming out, but they could have saved that for that event to like do an official launch. I think that would have been fucking great. Come out on the stage with the drones, talk about it. I mean,
I wholeheartedly agree.
I mean, it just would have been good. It would have been good to have that there to use that as your platform, But what do I know? I'm not a $1 billion drone company. I'm just some asshole with a live stream. So what the fuck do I know about marketing,
And
right?
beer.
Well, next year's Airworks is going to be in Europe, so that'll be pretty fun.
Well, maybe I'll go to that.
Oh no.
Could you imagine
was that
us
the
in
second
Europe?
Hangover movie or the third Hangover movie?
That was the second Hangover.
Oh,
but
no.
where would they do that? Would they do that in
Who's gonna be
Amsterdam,
the
Jeff?
naked China man.
Oh my God, that would be amazing if it was done up in like Amsterdam or something, dude. Could you imagine?
So I don't think my wife would let me go. She's
Well, I
good
mean,
with,
if
like,
it's
Paris but
Paris would be
know.
fun.
Paris would be fun.
Paris would be fun. Fun.
You wait. So you can go to Vegas, but not Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't add up, dude.
No, Amsterdam has that. What's that one thing?
If I get detained in a different country, it's
the red
getting detained.
The red light district. They've got the red light district
where they have a 3D printed bridge. Obviously, the highlight of the red light district.
That is.
Oh
why
yes,
I would
yes,
go.
that is.
That's why
to
you
see the 3D printed bridge.
Exactly.
I've got my little print farm going over here right now, Jeff.
Oh shit.
Oh,
What are those?
yeah.
What are those?
Those are artilleries.
Not right. Okay.
Yeah, those are artilleries going right now. They're actually pretty quiet right now.
Do they all have fans?
Yeah, they've got fans. This mic does a really good job of suppressing that noise. And then beneath that, I've got a shit ton of Prusa minis running underneath, which those are actually pretty loud. Actually,
yeah,
they're pretty loud. But I'm also high as hell off the resin fumes that are going on in the back room.
Oh, do you have an SLS? Or not
Yeah,
SLS?
I've got four. Yeah, I've got four resins.
What are you using?
Right now we're using Elegoo, the Mars 3 Pros. They work good. Resin is resin though. Resin is resin. It doesn't matter. It's just all about unless you got to have it like a tank heater or something like that. But I think resin.
We got some of the new forms, and they because that's where we're printing all of our stuff from. Those are workhorses. Those are and they just make the cleaning and everything super easy. So that I don't know. Still. I
really want to get into the laser printing, but you can't find the laser printers for less than like $22,000.
Oh, they're expensive.
Yeah, they're insane. They're insane.
Yeah. So my new big thing is CNC. I'm
CNC?
loving the CNC
Wait,
stuff.
did you get a machine?
Yeah. That's how Tyler and I got talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
I absolutely love my CNC.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about the aluminum, the heat sinks.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
I mean, the thing is so precise. You could mill your own boards. I mean, you can mill anything.
Yeah. Well, like
you want
once
to make a PCB board or whatever you want to make, you can easily mill that stuff.
How big is the machine, Jeff?
So the actual machine itself is about 50 by 50. My workspace itself though is 34 by 34.
Okay.
And then by 4 inches.
big enough.
So I can't quite cut 3 feet, but it's big enough for what I do. I mean, drone stuff.
That's big enough. You can build you can make frames and things like that, top plates, arms.
Far bigger than any of my 3D print beds for sure.
Yeah. I ended up ditching off the enders for what we're doing. I just found there was just too many issues with the enders.
Dude, that thing's not even an ender anymore. I've got
I mean you've made that
the whole hot ends. It's a micro Swiss full metal hot end. I mean, there's nothing normal about that thing except for the rails and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say enders are like a great starting printer. They just tend to break and then you have to fix them.
They're good, but you gotta freaking really. There's so much fuckery that goes into it. Like you gotta make it not an ender, like Jeff said. Like
I probably got $400. I probably invested $400 into that thing after buying the initial ender. So
these artilleries, they sent me one, and I was so impressed with it. I bought 6 more because they just right out of the box, I can be up and printing in like 10 minutes. That's like unheard of for a 3D printer. Like
so that one I literally carried upstairs by the top rail, threw it on the table and started printing. And it's bulletproof.
That's
your
not
CNC?
bad.
No, the Ender 3. That's not really an Ender 3 anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an Ender 3 anymore.
I mean, I can print nylon. I can print anything with it. It's a
FUFA 3.
It's a FUFA
3.
Yeah. But no, the CNC I got is a Shapeoko Pro, Shapeoko 4 Pro. I don't know. You can get them around $3,000, something like that, 3,500 maybe. But it's a workhorse too.
I feel like the CNC machines need to like advance a little further. They're still lagging a little bit behind like the FDM printers and whatnot.
Maybe, but they're far more precise. Like there's not a printer on the market that's more precise than price. You take two things that cost the same, the CNC is going to be more precise than the 3D printer all day.
Interesting.
Is CNC more precise than like laser SLS?
I don't know, but I would guess yes.
Okay. I don't know either, because I know you can get super precise with resin.
Well, I should say laser printing is pretty much I would say the most precise.
Yeah.
The
SLS, I don't know the laser printing itself. I know that like for resin, you can use lasers to create the freaking however detailed you want it to.
Well, yeah, you're using a screen essentially to create that. I mean, yeah, that's pretty precise. Well, I think too with the resin, it depends on the resolution of the screen.
Yeah. Well, no,
the
but
higher up you go on the screen.
Well, you can get the screen, but like the reason we got the forms is because they don't use like like a 4K or 1080p screen instead of pixels.
They're using lasers.
We're using lasers, so we're able to get really great precision with those. But I'd be curious how it stacks up to CNC.
How have you found the durability of the resin prints?
Oh, dude, it's resin, so it's brittle if you like make it super thin, but it looks great. It's super light, like for what we're using it for. It's strong, and it's just the process to clean and cure is like like
it's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass. If you make it thick, like I found a couple of industrial resins that we've stumbled across that are like, I mean, it challenges freaking PLA, like as far as strength goes, which is pretty impressive. But the cleaning process is just such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, because you can get like, I think we were looking, there's like washing stations. You just like dip that.
Yeah, that's what I have to the left of me. I got this whole mass like wash and cure station. And
so I think that makes it like significantly easier. It's just, you got to invest some time, and it's really my our engineer Jack is like, he's like, it's an art, not really a science.
No, exactly. It is an art, and that's what I don't think a lot of people understand. And like for me, I like it because I could, whether I print one thing or 12 things, it's still going to take the same amount of time. So there's benefit, and there's benefit in volume.
When you're making that.
Yeah, there's definitely benefit in volume. It works well for me. The fumes were pretty bad at first until I figured that a solution out for that, but pretty good.
Is it called tolerance?
What's that?
Your solution is that tolerance?
No, well, it may be now. It may be now. I don't know. It's funny, man. When I first started printing,
like a tea break.
I moved everything into the bathroom. So my bathroom is like my resin print area. And then I didn't think about it. I'm like, well, I still have to use the bathroom. So I'm like so high off the fumes as I'm trying to take, a morning crap. And I'm like, I didn't think this through. So now I have like an exhaust fan. I have a charcoal exhaust fan that runs out through the roof that pulls all the fumes and dumps it outside. So now it's fine. Like I can't smell anything. So, but before that, it was really bad. I have individual exhaust fans for every printer.
Oh, okay.
So everyone vents out to the outside and goes up into like a T. Yeah. So definitely much needed, but that's not conducive for everybody. If like somebody wants to do resin printing, it's not conducive.
Take some of the fun out of it that way, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because it's like you're basically getting high trying to print something. I don't know what the recourse is for resin. The fumes, but yeah.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
It was a good idea at the time, but all right, guys, I am really going to end at this point.
Third time's a charm.
Somebody
are we going to talk about the Skydio comment?
Did you see that?
Are we going to talk about the Skydio comment?
I felt like Skydio was struggling a little in the comments. It's hard to hide.
Hey, is that Chad?
The fact
that Chad CS? Is that our Chad S? Ooh,
epic. That's funny. They probably got Lon wasn't going to have anything to do with Skydio in the comment section. He was on Skydio alert.
Oh man,
that's funny. All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for being on tonight.
Appreciate it, man.
Again, links will be in all the descriptions. And yes, that is your Chad S there, Bobby. Asian Bobby.
Wow! Shout out to Chad S.
really, that's Bobby's word.
I don't know if he wants to remain anonymous or not. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you want to remain anonymous, Chad S?
Anonymous Chad. Good night, Bobby.
Good night.
Oh man.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby,